Welcome to Hidden Gems of Newcastle County, where we uncover the stories, flavors, and the people that make our community shine. I'm your host, Jean Kress, with the Newcastle County Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm joined by Veer Archibald, site leader at the historic Dupont Experimental Station, a place known for innovation and leadership. But Veer isn't just leading on campus. He's also guiding people to some of the most unforgettable local experiences. One such hidden gem, Zollies. Veer introduced me to this incredible spot where the jazz floats through the air, sometimes live, sometimes piped in, but always setting the perfect mood. And the food. Well, describing it is like describing jazz itself. You really have to experience it to understand the magic. So grab your coffee, settle in, and join us as we talk about leadership, legacy, and local treasures with a dash of soul and a side of something delicious. Hi, Veer.
Hey Gene, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It's wonderful. Nice Wednesday afternoon, and I'm about to eat, so life is good.
Tell me about this place. We're at Zollies.
Zollies Jazz Cucina. We're here in Old Newcastle. Not all the great food is on Market Street or in Wilmington. If you want to get away, for me, you go downtown Wilmington, you're probably gonna run into somebody want a place to hide, a nice little place, and I found this, and this is mine.
I love it. I mean, I love the artwork. I love the ambiance. When I walked in the door, I immediately felt welcomed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, the owners are a married couple. You got Susie Q behind the bar. She makes the greatest cocktails. I'm having her red sangria that she handmade.
That looks yummy.
Chef Tony is a true artist. He scours the area for great findings. If you're looking for like traditional food, this is probably not the place for you. But he's gonna do like a cross section of a Caribbean, of a little Cajun, a little Southern, and it all comes out really, really good. Half the time I don't even look at the menu. I'm just like, hey Tony, what do I need? And he feeds me.
That's amazing. I don't know where in Newcastle County you could come into a place, feel like you walked into a home, and then you get to experience the world. I mean, that is extraordinary.
Well, I mean, it's really the story of Newcastle County, right? I mean, so it's kind of like this hidden gem in the great Northeast megapolis, but it has all of the right things, but it also is a kind of a quiet little place where you can get away.
Yeah.
So, people think, oh, I come to Delaware, there's no culture. I'm going to lose touch with, great food, great art, right? But then, you come into old Newcastle and you look at the paintings on the wall, right? You can hear the music, and then, everything from the beverages that Susie's mixing up to, what Tony's making in the kitchen. There is art. There's great art here,
Wow.
you know?
That that is really amazing because I really find a lot of people don't understand when you have a business like this. It's family owned, the artistry that's involved in it, because you have to have that creative mind to be able to go beyond the borders of what you see in the market. I think that's what I'm fascinated by when these types of restaurants, they just know how to bring creativity at the finest level.
You see, but I believe the brilliance of this place, right? And I haven't interviewed the owners, right? But this is just my take on it.
Well,
I don't think that they're looking at the market. I think what they said is there's a community of people in Newcastle. If you look around, half the people in the restaurant are going to be people that are here 2, 3, 4 nights a week. I see the same people over and over again. One of them actually became a really good mentor of mine. And they decided I'm gonna cook for my family. And when I come here, that's what I feel like, right? I feel like they're cooking for my family, for their family. I'm a part of that family. I feel very welcome. When we walked in, hi Susie. Hey John, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Can we get together for dinner? So I feel like they're cooking for me. And that's after a hard day of work, life is stressful. There's a lot going on. I can come here and I can get a home cooked meal by an artist.
Vera, that's amazing. I mean, I don't know of any place that I've ever gone that I've had that experience. I'm so excited.
Well, you're gonna have that experience tonight because there's a 3-course special, so we're gonna knock it out. We're gonna have every course, and in fact, we're gonna do 4 courses because I've already ordered the mussels. You know, I hope you skip
I
lunch.
have not eaten all day because I have been waiting for this. So this is very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can talk a little bit about Zollies, which I love, and we're going to talk more about it. But I want to talk about you because when I first met you, you're just a kind soul. And I just find you to be a generous, kind human being. Where the heck is that coming from?
Can you talk to my employees? I need you to do a 360 with for my employees, and you need to share with them what you just shared with me.
I will vouch for you anytime. Absolutely.
Well, thank you first of all for the compliment. I'm not sure if I live up to those accolades. But for me, I treat everybody kind of the same. And which is weird because I grew up in a very classist society. And I guess
Where did you grow up?
so I grew up on the island of St. Kitts.
Oh.
Yeah, at the time when I was born till I was 10, it was a British colony. And so there were a lot of things that they adopted from like British society, right? Class structure being one of them. And I grew up upper middle class in this world. So, that had certain privileges that came with it, right? And I guess like moving here, going to college here, appreciating Americana and what Americana is, and then going back and then being able to be, almost like an anthropologist in both worlds and being like of but not of. One could take away the best of each, right? And so yes, I think that there's a little bit of that, right? There's a little bit of guilt for my younger stuff, and then there's a little bit of, everybody wants to be treated like a person. Yeah. And here he is, Chef Tony. How you doing?
Hey, Tony. I'm Jean Kress.
Nice to meet you.
I'm excited. I've heard nothing but good things.
So, the one thing I really, really, really love about Newcastle County, Delaware, coming into places like Old Newcastle is there's a sense of community,
Yeah.
right?
We always joke around. It's not 6 degrees; it's 2 degrees
Yeah.
in Delaware.
Yeah. It's kind of scary.
It is. It's yeah. I totally agree. Oh, thank you. This looks delicious. This smells delicious.
Oh yeah.
Everything about it is amazing.
And we haven't gotten started yet.
Wow. Okay, so Veer, your last name Archibald. What is that background?
I mean, it's a Scottish last name, right? I'm totally not Scottish.
You never know.
You never know, but it's a Scottish last name. I actually have a plaque on my wall with the genealogy of the
Oh my
name.
God, this is delicious.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. And these are the mussels.
Fantastic.
Divine.
But you see how it has like a little curry in it?
Yeah.
So this is how you get a beautiful blend, right?
Absolutely.
Since is in the British West Indies, and the ethnicity of those people are called West Indians. Susie, she's from Guyana. It's part of the British West Indies.
Okay.
Tony's from the South, and so you get this fusion of like Caribbean flavors. So, like, have you ever had curry with your mussels?
I don't think I have.
This is what you're having right now.
This is amazing.
And so this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're not really sure what's gonna appear.
And you know what, to be honest with you, I couldn't identify it as curry. It is so, I don't know how to explain it. It actually just melts into your taste buds.
Yeah,
This is lovely. What's the word I'm looking for? It actually brings the mussels alive. Like I've never tasted them like this. This is amazing.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry about that.
The interesting thing of it is the first known Archibalds in the Western world arrive on a boat called the William. My grandfather was William Archibald. My father was William Augustus Archibald.
Okay.
My nephew is Liam Archibald. So,
So why are you Veer?
because I'm not the firstborn, I got the other name, but I'm the only Veer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also an Old English name. Yeah, so but it's interesting because Archibald is traditionally a first name, and Veer is traditionally a last name. So I should be Archibald Veer.
I understand the name complexity because I have a name that kind of doesn't make sense either. So I get it. But that's a whole other story. Not about
I love my name because
I do
you're
too.
never gonna meet another Veer Orland Archibald.
No, you okay. Where did Orland come from?
Orland Lindsay was Archbishop in the Anglican Church, and my mother hoped at one point I would enter the priesthood.
And how did you feel about that at the time?
Well, I was an infant. I had really no thoughts.
As you got older and you realized this was supposed to be your destiny, did
Okay.
you have any issues with that?
I mean, it wasn't something that was forced upon me. It wasn't.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I wasn't in a monastery contemplating like like my future.
That's fair. But I'm glad. I'm sure the experimental station is happy that you did not go into the priesthood. I think there's a lot of people that hear about the experimental station and they're not quite sure what does that actually mean? What does it look like? What do you do?
So the experimental station is probably the best secret in Delaware. It is a center of innovation. It has been a center of innovation for 122 years. There's so many household products that are just name brands that were invented there. I mean, I have a sheet with, probably 50 names in the household, and everything from Kevlar to nylon to Nomex, Surlyn, have all been invented at the experimental station. Not along with being a center of innovation, it is an economic engine. I mean, you're talking about a 2.3 million square feet of lab space on 130 acres that today still has about 1,800 scientists that are just trying to solve a lot of the world's um, problems, right?
Wow.
There's been a lot of change over its years. So in 2016, we started transitioning from being solely occupied by DuPont. Today, there are 12 independent companies, along with the innovation space, formerly known as the Delaware Innovation Space. All of these 12 companies are working on very, very interesting things, all driving technology forward. And then you have the innovation space. It's this incredible incubator that's doing remarkable things, not just in terms of science, but the economy of northern Delaware. You look at companies like Insight, Prelude, Versigin, Adhesive, were all kind of started and found their way to Delaware through the innovation space, and were kind of, I wouldn't say birth. That may be too bold of me, but had a start. So I think the 141 corridor in North Wilmington is probably one of the most innovative locations in the country.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. And this is right in our backyard.
right,
It's
exactly.
amazing. I think one of the things I'm learning, and this is definitely a learning process for me, is how innovative Delaware really is and how that push to be innovative is and like attracts like. And just the ideas and innovation coming into Delaware, from what with my limited knowledge, I feel is exploding. And do you feel that the experimental station is like the flagship of that explosion?
I mean, I'm biased, right? I'm biased. But I would say yes,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I'm not a Delawarean, but I think every Delawarean has been to the Hagley, and you hear this
Yeah.
wonderful story of how DuPont was formed on the banks of the Brandywine, forming gunpowder in 1802, etc. And there's a wonderful story of innovation, driven mostly by DuPont, all the way up to the current time. But when you think of that innovation tree, let's call it innovation tree right now.
Okay.
In Delaware right now, you have Gord, Chemours. I have to talk about my brothers at Chemours, Corteva. There's an interesting company we just heard about recently, AirJewel. We talked about Insight already,
Yeah.
Prelude. So can I say that we are driving it on our own? I mean, AstraZeneca, we heard about the investment that Merck is planning to make, right? It almost, one could almost argue that if you are a innovation company in the Northeast, you need to have a presence here.
I can see that. I mean, it's starting to become so clear about that.
Right. I mean, we're uniquely situated, right,
Yeah.
in the middle of this great infrastructure that is the Northeast. You have transportation to, DC in 2 hours, to Boston in five.
Right.
Train, rail. You have beaches an hour away. You have mountains 2 hours away. Yeah, I mean,
Location, location, location.
exactly, exactly.
Not to mention the state itself is so pro business.
Yeah, I mean, Delaware is a great place to do business, right? Because when you think about it, there's always been the Delaware way, right? Because you got 2, 3 degrees of separation. You know who to call. You call them up. You get things done. But now they're real tools behind that, right? As well. So you have the Delaware Prosperity Partnership, right? You
Right.
have the Committee of 100. You have the chambers of commerce. You could probably find the governor at Home Depot on a Saturday, right? So if you have an idea and you need answers to overcome roadblocks, there's probably no better place to do that than here.
I agree. Actually, and I agree with that because I think the one thing that has been really phenomenal for me is being able to be people at all levels. I meet people who are dreaming and saying, I want to start a business, to people who've been in business for years, and they're smart, they're innovative, they know what they're doing. And I don't know of any other place that they would sit down and have conversations with that entrepreneur who's just starting out. I literally just came from the Pete Dupont Freedom Foundation, and that's exactly what was happening. You had a panel of Scott Malpatino, Dave Tiberi, Ben Dupont, and Pierre Dupont, and here they are talking about how they started a business way, way back and failed, and they were just sharing their knowledge and their information. And you could walk up to them and continue the conversation after the panel was over. I think that's pretty phenomenal.
There's not too many places that you can get that type of access
No.
and probably be back in your office in 15 minutes,
Or at Zollies drinking a margarita.
which is probably the better option.
Cheers to that. And as the evening continued, the amazing food kept coming. I wasn't disappointed. I truly enjoyed my time at Zollies. If you haven't been, go check it out and tell them Veer sent you. Thanks for listening. Stay connected, stay inspired, stay hungry. Support the people and the places that make our region thrive.